let's cross down live. I can't wait for this story because we're going to find out about the greatest elephants in Ipswich's history. And one's you panelling. And let's talk to Harold the H. Peacock, ark, of course, and he is our Ipswich historian. He's going to tell us the story, Harold, and of course you can find all the stories with Harold on historyouthere.com, historyouthere.com. Get on there, tell us how you like it, tell us, do the ark for us, and we'll put it up on air. So, Harold, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Danny. Once you hear about these great elephants from Ipswich history, you will never forget them, I guarantee.
Well, I tell you, I'm very interested in this. You may have offended a few human beings too by talking about the elephants of Ipswich history.
Well, look, in this case, when you're talking about the greatest elephants, you can't go past Lizzie the elephant. And if you were in Ipswich 120 years ago, you might have even walked past Lizzie in the street because everywhere she went for a wander. You see, in Bendigo, Victoria in 1901, Lizzie got loose in the wee hours of the morning and was wandering the streets of the town. In 1902, Lizzie got loose again, this time in Euroa in northeast Victoria. She walked into the yard of the Northeastern Hotel looking for a drink with the patrons, and they got a shot. And in 1903, Lizzie got loose here in Ipswich and meandered up towards Queen's Park. Now, along the way, an unsuspecting Ipswich lad was minding his own business and carrying a basket of pumpkins. Now, Lizzie appropriated the pumpkins and the boy bolted, but I don't know what he told his mum when he got home. Now, elephants and circuses, they were a really regular thing back then. In 1906 in Ipswich, there was a herd of 6 elephants, along with 3 camels, 2 water buffaloes, a Ceylon zebu, a calf with 5 legs, a pony with 3 legs, and a horn-hoofed pony. They came to Ipswich with Worth Brothers Circus, if anyone remembers Worth Brothers. Now, Worth Brothers and Lizzie teamed up to come back here in 1912. And the following year, they were down in Melbourne when the age-old question of which would win, an elephant or a camel, that was finally answered. You see, the camel showed very bad temper, and after mauling one of the circus attendants, turned its attention to Lizzie the elephant and snapped at her ears. Now, it then turned on the buffalo, threw him down and knelt on him. The buffalo retaliated by goring the camel. Now, this infuriated the camel, which then rushed back to attack Lizzie. Now, poor old Lizzie, she finally lost her temper when her ear was neatly bitten through. She wound her trunk around the neck of the camel, dragged him to the ground, and strangled it. Now, in 1920, elephant enthusiasts in Ipswich and around the country were in mourning because Lizzie died after an illness of some weeks. And Danny, if you ever wondered what they do with a dead elephant, well, Lizzie was taken off to a soap factory to be boiled down.
Well,
now,
can I just interrupt for a sec, just quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I understand the camel got upset because the elephant was trying to make a trunk call.
It could have been, yeah, but then the water buffalo got intervened in there as well. It was just a mess, but at least we found out the answer: an elephant will beat a camel.
Is that a fact? An elephant will beat a camel?
Well, Lizzie did, and even when Lizzie died, well, look, when Lizzie died, people were still fascinated with elephants, and Ipswich didn't end its love affair with elephants then, because following the deadly storms of 1941, there were like 13 people killed down the east coast, 2 here in Ipswich. Wow. But there was also a cargo launch by the name of Bremer that was washed up onto the riverbank at Basin Pocket. Now, an elephant was borrowed from a passing circus to refloat the vessel by pushing it back into the river. But the elephant wasn't strong enough. And, Danny, I've got a great photo of that, which I'll post online for you. Now, in 1949, 4 elephants from Worth Brothers shocked the locals here in Ipswich when they went for an early morning walk along Mary Street in Ipswich. And I've got a photo of that for you too.
Wow.
But the very best elephant story was witnessed by Ipswich's own George Twydale.
Oh, George.
Now, George, he'd served in the First World War and was pretty badly wounded. But when he got home, he ran off with the Worth Brothers Circus to play in the band. And in about 1922, Tyledale was in Albury when an elephant actually saved the life of one of the workers. Now, there was a cranky elephant called Cardi. He grabbed in his trunk an attendant named Snowy Lee. Now, Cardi was about to smash into the ground when another elephant called Alice, realising what was about to happen, reared up on hind legs and with all her strength brought a trunk down on Cardi's head, saving Snowy's life. Now, Snowy took off to American John Barnum's circus and Cardi the elephant. Well, when the circus was back here in Brisbane, hadn't actually quite got to Ipswich again yet, but he mauled the ringmaster. So Cardi was taken to Kedron Brook in Alderley, where he too was dispatched to the glue factory. Well, actually, the Queensland Museum got his remains. So he's in the Queensland Archives somewhere. But in Ipswich, Danny, 120 years later, let's remember and celebrate the lives of Alice, the lifesaver, and Lizzie, the wonder elephant. They're great memories to have, and here in Ipswich, we've got plenty of them.
Well, we're looking at some unbelievable black and white footage of these things.
From the National Film and Sound Archives. It's Worth Circus, the Elephants, back in 1936.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, look, Worth's was a big circus back then. It was founded by a couple of Worth's brothers, of course. George was the last of them. And they travelled up and down the East Coast and always called in here at Ipswich, and Lizzie was one of the star attractions for a very long time.
Mate, I was in a race with the elephants once, Wayne P. Roberts, Jackie McDonald, John Miller and myself, and I'm sitting up on top of it like a little pin, and off it took. It was running to its owner, like its handler, and I was holding on for grim death. It's quite an experience riding a racing elephant when you've got no instructions.
Well, you know, elephants are the biggest living land animal in the world.
And they've got to keep moving. Why they keep moving their head and trunk when they're on their feet is to keep the circulation going in their body. Do you know that?
Yeah, I do that too. I do that a lot too.
Well, they call you the trunk. All right, well, how do we make contact? How can we see this story? Because it's very interesting.
Yeah, look, go online to historyouthere.com. I'll post it always first thing Sunday mornings, but historyouthere.com.
Another brilliant story told by a brilliant storyteller. They call him Harold the H. Peacock on West Bremer Radio. It's 8:22.